What's going on, guys? I'm back with another bad creation from Bruce at Brit-Tone in his mad scientist laboratory of fantastic experimental goodies. This thing is called the PowerDrive, and it's basically a two-channel amp, about 45-ish watts, and it has four EL84 power tubes in there. And it basically is on the normal channel. It's kind of sort of your plexi type thing, and on the lead channel it's something kind of like a Bogner Shiva, and it sounds very simple on its surface, but it has one cool trick up its sleeve. You can turn the power tube power amp distortion on or off, and if you've ever played a old Marshall, like a JTM 45, Plexi, whatever, you know that when you push them really hard and get that gain from the power section, that's where a lot of really cool flavor comes from. But it also can, I don't want to say destabilize the sound, but it can make it, it can get a little raunchy and sloppy if you got it pushed really hard. It's an endearing quality, but also if you're wanting a cleaner sound but that same amount of gain, it's very difficult to achieve without dropping it down and then hitting it with like an overdrive or something like that. So the ability to turn that off and still have that same type of plexi circuit sound is a really neat trick that this amp has, and I'm going to show that to you guys here. I'm going to get going. I've got, for setup, I've got the Tokai, and then I've got the JHS Klon in front, as well as a Neural DSP Quad Cortex. I've got that on loaner from a buddy of mine. And I've got it set up with the 4-cable method. So if you're not familiar, basically it has two signal paths that I've created, one for the front of the amp and one for the effects loop. The front of the path has a OCD model drive and their version of the Klon drive as well. They both sound very different from one another and can be used kind of depending on how you want the amp to sound. On the effects loop part of it, really all I've got going is a little bit of reverb. I do have a delay set up, but it's not turned on right now. So that's kind of it. There's not much going on here, just some reverb and an amp and a couple of drives. So this is the normal channel. It's pushed moderately. The amp, the normal channel, does like to be a little bit on the kind of dirtier side for the normal channel, but it can clean up. So this is kind of sort of in the middle here. Really nice chime to it where you can dig in and get a little bit of dirt on it. So I'm gonna hit it here. This is the Klon pedal, and I've got the volume all the way up and the gain at about 10 o'clock. So here we go. For comparison, this is the Quad Cortex Klon. So I'm going to set this to the same settings as the pedal. Okay. Alright, so this is on the same settings as the actual pedal. So this is with it off. And the real pedal. it's not bad. It's pretty good for a digital thing. I'm always gonna like my analog thingies, but for a pedal that has a billion other things that can do it, ain't too bad. So let's keep on going here. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit with the output and the volume and the drive back down a little bit here. And all the way up. Little climb pedal here. And the OCD. And the Klein on the Quad Cortex. So, as you can hear it, it can get down just that's one channel. And I actually used this at my last show, and I used primarily that channel pushed about to that point. And then I had the Jackson Audio Prism in front of the amp, and it sounded very good with that thing as well. We do some heavier stuff, and for that I did kick over to the lead channel, and again the Prism sounds fantastic. Cleaned up a little bit in terms of how much gain it's actually adding, but it did very well, and I was extremely impressed. I was more than impressed. In fact, I was really shocked at how good the thing sounded. The amount of power and wattage that it brings to the stage is perfect. It had just enough left over in the tank once cranked up to push it for solo boosts, and I used my Line 6, the Helix Stomp, for that. And yeah, it was just super impressive all around. So anyways, let's go ahead, and I'm going to kick over here to the lead channel, and I'm going to start with everything kind of at noon, and we'll go from there. And I think there's a power tube that's not, or a preamp tube that's not happy in there. There's a little bit of noise, but we'll deal with that. grab some. And now, let's test out that PowerDrive thing. So I'm going to kick it back over to the lead channel, and when I do, I'm going to raise the output for the PowerDrive, and the output for the PowerDrive, it does both volume and gain at the same time. So if you want it quieter, decibel output wise, you can just lower the master volume and get the same effect. But yeah, the PowerDrive is kind of an all-in-one knob. So. It's at half right now. And I should also mention that when you have the PowerDrive on, it will distort whatever is in your loop. So if you've got reverb and delay and chorus and stuff like that, then they're gonna get messy. So that's just kind of one of the side effects of using it. But I've just turned off the reverb, so it's bone dry now, and you're gonna hear completely unadulterated PowerDrive here. So that's kind of what the PowerDrive does. It adds a little bit more natural gain from the power section, and if you want that extra saturation from just the amp, you can get it. But the ability to turn it off and have it clean is a very cool thing. So I'll prefer it off so that I can hit it with something up front, but if you're the kind of guy who just wants to go on stage, plug straight into the amp and get everything, then it's got that. I'm going to go ahead and tune down, and we're going to see how heavy this can get by boosting the lead channel. All right, I'm dropped down, and we're going to get going here. I'm going to go from the amp just by itself, and then I'm going to hit it with the JHS Clone. I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to go to the Quad Cortex Clone, and then finally to the OCD, so you can hear kind of all three external gain adders. So here we go. probably going to get loud. Yeah. So there you go. It's a relatively simple thing, but sometimes those things can be the best things. And like I said, I was extremely impressed with this thing on stage. It performed flawlessly and covered a ton of different styles of music from 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I mean, we went from a Mellencamp to Tool, and this amp just did everything. So again, extremely impressed with this thing. Unfortunately, it goes back to Bruce, and he's going to maybe make a couple of tweaks to it. Who knows? Keep on playing with it to see what all he can get it to do. But I really enjoyed my time with it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. And I've got one more amp that he's let me borrow. It's a little bit different from this, but I think it's really cool. So check that out also. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.